What is up, obscure mic people? It's Bark, and I'm back. Yes, it's me, and I'm back. Phenyx Pro sent me over a PDP. Yeah, you know me. Dual handheld wireless set from Phenyx Pro, like I said. It is a couple of handheld microphones here. I'm going to show you a little bit here. Basically, you've got two handheld mics if I do say so myself. Two handheld mics if I do say so myself. Bottom unscrews like most other handheld microphones. Oh, naked. And you got some AA batteries here. AA batteries. Takes two. It takes two, baby, to power the mic. They're UHF. They claim that the circuitry is 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. And, the body's metal. It feels pretty good. The capsule down here is plastic. And, yeah, it's actually a fine little microphone set. It does come with just a few accessories. It comes with the dongle that plugs into it, which I am running into the M-Audio. It's a rechargeable dongle. Rechargeable by way of USB-C. There's our dongle that plugs into the 1/4-inch jack. It's a USB-C charging. Then we've got the Phenyx Pro mic itself. We've got a 1/4-inch to 3.5 TRS. And we've got an angle there, 1/4-inch to 1/4-inch, but 90-degree angle, and a little USB-C charging cord. Now, something I like about sets like this is you're not really going to need an audio interface, for sure. You could use the 3.5 millimeter jack on a camera, on a phone. There's a lot of ways to get the sound from this because the power is all in the handheld. So AA batteries, that's where your power is coming from. You could plug them into an interface and do a USB connection, or you could just plug it into a camera or whatever, like I said, and do a two-person podcast like I'm going to show you now with my nephew, Adam Skowarski. I can't remember exactly what I called him, but let me show you what a two-person podcast with a camcorder. This one actually, exactly, a Sony HDR-CX430, just a little handheld camera, got a little mic jack in there, and I just plugged these into that, and we did a killer podcast episode. I'll show you right now. So welcome to the Not a Real podcast.
Yep.
I've got my co-host, Adam Snowarski, with me.
That's me.
Yep, Adam Snowarski. How's it feel to be on a not real podcast about nature, birds, and crack cocaine?
You know, I've just been waiting to do this my whole life. I mean, this is what I've wanted to do since I was just a little kid. And, it's just been great to actually get this opportunity.
And it's really worked out because we're getting paid so much from nature to do this podcast about not nature and the leaves behind us, and everything's really been worth it as far as this podcast goes because we've made monetary gains that are unexplainable and can't even be put into numbers.
Yeah, it's just too much to even count.
It is. And we drive fast cars because of it. You're going to have a Chrysler soon.
Oh, wow.
Because of this podcast that's not real. And I have a hand-me-down green Hyundai, and it's all because of this podcast.
Yeah. You really got a lot from this.
Yeah, and you used to ride in the back of that hand-me-down green Hyundai, and some of the best days of your life were spent crawling in the back because there's not four doors and looking out of the tiny back hatch window.
Yep.
And it's just all because of this. It's all because of this fake podcast.
Yeah.
But
really gained a lot from this.
The gains don't stop.
Yep.
And they can't stop. But this is what these would sound like if you were doing a real podcast, which we are, but it's a fake real podcast.
Yep. Very real and fake.
Very real and fake. I think it works.
Yep.
I think the podcast is done. That's all we need to talk about. And this will probably blow up in a viral way not seen by the likes of anyone. It's very Trump-like, the crowds that are here to watch this podcast. And don't drink Monster Rehab Watermelon. Is that correct?
Yep. Don't do it. I can feel it kicking.
That's the tip of the day. For the sake of knowing, these are $78 on Amazon right now. And guess what? It does come with a couple of foam windies here. that are stuck into the bottom. I would have never known this had I not looked up the Amazon picture, but they're stuck inside the bottom of the foam that everything was packaged in. These are some kind of pitiful Wendy's. That is that looks a little mushroomy. Yeah, that looks a little mushroomy. I'll do the plosives with it on. Peter Piper, Pick to Peck, Pickle Pineapple Pizza. These do very little for anyone. Let's, yep, that's bad. That's real bad. Let's go industrial strength. Peter Piper, Pick to Peck, Pickle Pineapple Pizza. SM7B windscreen there. Oh, yeah. It's a little warm in the studio. Starting to sweat. Let's do off-axis rejection after I get right up on the microphone and show you what it sounds like when you're right on top of the PDP-2, one of the handhelds of the two, and then I'm going to take it 90 degrees off-axis, 180 degrees, 90 degrees back around to the front of the microphone. Yeah, $77. If you don't want to buy an interface, like, technically, do you really need an interface for podcasting? I mean, two people, two voices transmitted into some kind of video or audio device. I mean, if you really just want a podcast with a pretty solid sound, you could just spend $77 and plug these into whatever camera or phone or whatever you got and just record, and you're still going to sound pretty solid on a podcast. So PDP-2, I think for $75 on the BBSAR, I'm going to give a 6. Definitely worth buying. The one thing I don't like is AA batteries. I don't like being prepared to always change out AA batteries. Not a fan of that. If these were rechargeable, I'd bump this score right up a notch or two. But the fact that you got to use AA batteries is, not the greatest thing ever. But it's fine. Either way, it's a cheap way to get going with a two-person podcast. And I thank Phenyx Pro for sending them over. But he didn't say anything. I didn't have to. Obscure Mics. Peace out.